Let us now start working with dates. Let's add another title, working with dates. When you're working in any programming language, we must know how to work with dates because dates are special data types that may occur in some data sets, and handling those dates is not same as handling other variables like strings and numerical values. In this example, we'll be working with KC house data, King County house price data. We have already imported this data set, so directly I'll go there and I'll try to just show you what is a sample of the data. First, get an idea on these data set. Let me print a sample of 5 records. This is the house price data. This is the day that the house has been sold. Obviously, this date is not in the actual date time format. It is some kind of date followed by T followed by several zeros format, some format which is actually right now string format, the price of the house, number of bedrooms, number of bathrooms, what is the area of the house, whether there is any waterfront, etc., etc. All these variables are there. So the variable that I'm interested right now is the date variable. Now, what I want to do is right now it's not in this format. The format that I'm expecting it to have is date format, but unfortunately it is in the string object format. So if you look at the info, the date variable will be in the object format, which is the string object. It is in the string format. I do not want it to be in string format. So what I want to do is I want to first of all extract only the first 8 characters which are representing the values related to date. So let us first extract those values, first 8 characters. Let me increase the font. Yeah. So let's extract those values. How do you do that? Go to the King County house price data, KC house price. It should give us the prompt. Yes, it is giving. And I want to override the original variable itself, date variable, and original date variable. I would like to take that and overwrite it so that equal to this is the data set that I would like to take. The dot apply lambda 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 x. Now within x, what I want to consider, the function that I want to consider is I would like to take from each row, I would like to take 0 to 8, 0 to 8, starting from 0 to 8. 8 means automatically 0 to 7 will be considered. First 7 will be considered. In fact, we can have a look at it after taking that information. Let's have a look at the data that is created. Now this is the one. It is still string object only. It is still string object. In fact, there are multiple ways of doing it. You can find out where there is T. You can split the data based on T, and you can take the numbers before whatever is the value T. Okay, you can do that as well. But here it is simple. You can actually take the first 8 characters. Now what I want to do is I want to convert this string. This is a string right now. I want to convert this string into date format. What is date format? Here, I want to identify these first 4 characters as year. I want to identify the next 2 characters as month, next 2 characters as date. How do you convert strings to dates? You can use a function called strptime. There are two functions, strftime, strptime. strptime is used for converting strings to dates. How do you convert strings to dates using strptime? For first of all, you need to have this package called datetime. So from a datetime package, import another sub package called datetime. You need to have that datetime sub package. Okay. Now you're ready to use that datetime. So let me give you a simple example. So let us take a date in string format. Okay, the date in string format, string means something that is in quotes. Date in string format 2022 12 and 29. This is the date in string format. Now if I want to convert into a particular date format. The date format that I want is, let's say, percentage y. So now these are standard formats. I'll show you some of the standard formats later on. Percentage capital Y means four values of the year. Percentage lowercase m, percentage d. Now there is a meaning for all these. There is a particular meaning. What does percentage uppercase y mean? What does percentage lowercase m mean? What does percentage lowercase d mean? There's a meaning for that. So this is the date format that I want. So the final date that I want to print is my final date equal to, take the datetime function, datetime dot strptime. So what is the date string? Write down the date string, and then what is the format that you want? You can directly mention this, or you can mention the format that you wanted. But to keep the thing simple, I can directly mention this because most of the times you will see this being used. Now this is the date that you can print finally. Let's print this date. Here you go, the output. So in the output, we can see that uppercase Y means four letters of the year, and percentage small m means two-digit value of the month. Percentage small d, lowercase d, means two digits of the date. Actually, sometimes you can print the month in a three-letter format like DGC, December, J and Jan, JU and June, something like that. Or you can print the complete name of the month. You can also print lowercase y. Let's say, let us experiment with this. Let's say if you want to print a short year, and that is also possible. Percentage of short year. 2022, 12, 29 did not match. Actually, we have given a longer year. Let's give 22. So the input that I'm giving is 22. Then what I can give is I can expect this to have this format. Yes, I have given in this. This is a string. Please convert it into format. So this string has been converted to this format of the date. So we are trying to tell that in this string, this is the format that the year has been given. So here if it is 2022, then it will become uppercase Y. So the format that we have given the year is in this format. The format that we have given the month is in this format. The format that we have given the date is in this format. So then Python will get the knowledge to read that particular string and convert it into date time format. Now what you see here, this object is in date time format. We try to apply the same logic on our date. Right now the date is a complete string. Now we will write KC house price data, date may be formatted or date cleaned. That is equal to, I will take the date variable, okay, and then what I'll do is, or we can override the original variable, or we can put that part of the string where the first 8 letters are there in a different variable. That is also fine, okay. So what we will try to do is we will take that variable, and then we will try to say dot apply lambda lambda. That means I want to go to every row X, and then I have to write the same code, date time strp time, apply lambda X, and then you use the same function, date time strp time. Yes, and the input that I want to give is X, and which format my input is in. It is having 2022, or it is having year followed by month followed by date, but there are no hyphens or there are no spaces. The format is slightly different, so we have to give exactly the same format. So it is percentage uppercase Y, which means we are giving the year in this lengthy format, then percentage M, percentage T, and that should be within quotes. It has to be given in quotes. Then Python will understand, okay, I'm getting year in 4 letters, I'm getting month in 2 digits, I'm getting date in 2 digits. Then this date cleaned, which is a new variable, that will be definitely in the date time format. So if I write this one dot info, now I'm pretty sure that will be date time format. Now there is some issue. Let us see what is the issue. This date time variable should not be given. Info is a method that can be applied on the pandas data frame. You have the last variable, which is date time cleaned. It is in date time format. Date time some format that they have given. There is an internal name in Python, but we are sure that this is the date time format. It is not a string object anymore. You cannot give hyphens here. If you give hyphens, we're trying to tell that there are hyphens within the dates. It will throw an error for sure because there are no hyphens. It did not match the input text criteria. We have given input text differently and we are giving the hyphens differently. So this will work if you are giving without hyphens. Then you can derive month, you can derive day, you can derive year, whatever you want to derive, because once it is in date time format, then everything else will be very, very easy. So what you need to do is you just need, let's say if you want to derive the month, here is the, so let us derive the name of the variable itself is month. So what I'll do is I'll take this date cleaned variable, date cleaned, first go to KC house price, take date cleaned, apply lambda x, and x is in date time format. So if x is in date time format, how do you extract month out of it? You simply write x dot month, then you will get the month. So you can actually see the values of the month, some sample values. Here you go, month. How do you extract year? How do you extract year? You simply write year, and then from this date, I want to extract year. Then I'll simply write year. That's year. How do you extract date? Since it is date time format, you can extract date as well, or day of the month. Let's call that as day of the month because date itself is a variable name. Day of the month. You simply write day. Here you go, days. Day 13, 14, 15. In fact, since it is in date time format, there are some values that you can extract that is not even there in the data. Let's say if you want to extract weekday, then you can use a function called weekday on top of the date function. Then it will give you that weekday. So let us give weekday. From the date cleaned, you simply write weekday and then you will get the output. Here you go. 0 probably means Sunday. We can actually see, in fact, in this weekday function, if you look deep into it, you will be able to give which day you want to call it as a particular start day of the week. Okay, if you go to this weekday function, hold your control button. Then in this weekday, if you try to see what this particular function is saying, if we read the documentation, then we will be able to see actually what should be the start day of the weekday, whether we want Sunday to be start day or whether we want Monday to be start day. That also can be mentioned by us. As of now, it is giving the weekdays. You can explore more into that weekday option as well. Okay. Now that is how you convert strings into dates. What if you want to do the opposite of it? What if you have a date variable with you? You want to extract some strings out of it. You have a date variable, you want to create the month name. You have a date variable, you have to create the weekday name. You want to print it as Sunday. What if you want the year in a particular format? So earlier we have used strp time. Earlier we have used strp time for converting strings into dates. What if you want to do the opposite of it? What if you want to convert dates into some particular format strings? Then you have to use strf time. Let us use strf time now. So here is the usage of strftime. Right now we have date cleaned variable. We want to do a similar operation, but this time I want to extract a string name. I want to have month underscore name. I want to have a full month name to be printed. If that is the case, I will take date cleaned. This is the date variable. And from here, I will use x dot strftime. We are actually, what does strftime do? From the date, it will get you the month. So if you want month in a elaborated manner, if you want the complete month name, you have to put %b. I'm going to give you all these symbols, like we can create a list of these symbols, like what exactly means what. We'll be able to refer to that. So as of now, if you put %b, you will get the month name like this. Complete month name will be printed for you. October, June, September, and so on. In fact, you can also print the weekday name by using a similar code. You can say my weekday name. Now that weekday is a string. Weekday name is a string. How do you extract a string from a date strftime? For the weekday name, you have to use a symbol called %a. Then you have weekday name. Which day is it? Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Friday, Thursday, all those things. What if you want year in a particular format? Like earlier, if you're directly taking year, it was coming as 2014, 2015. What if you want only two letters in an year, like year in YY format? That's what you want. Let's say, let's call this a short year. What if you want short year? Again, you use strftime, and you can use percentage lowercase y. That will give you year in two decimals, 2014, 2015, like that. So these are some of the important symbols. If you say %d, that is day of month, that will be from 1 to 31. If you say %m, that will be month, it will be. So here are some of the symbols that you may find useful. I have listed some of them. In fact, you can see the documentation based on the need. The other symbols also you can use %d, that represents the day of month. Percentage lowercase m, that is the month number. Percentage lowercase b, that is the first three characters like Jan. And full month is %b. Now these are the symbols for month. For year, these are the symbols. For weekday, this is the weekday number 0 to 6. Sunday begins with 0. And %a, weekday, full string, that will give. And there are other symbols as well beyond this. These are the most widely used ones. If you want to print in a particular format, then you can refer to other symbols related to these dates. So these are some of the functions that are there in dates: strftime, strptime. These are the ones that are very useful. Let us quickly recap these by using a quick lab session. What you need to do is, you have to import Roseman store sales data. There is a column called, in fact, that Roseman store sales data, we have already imported that in our code. Have you seen that? Roseman store sales data. Let's put a title here. Let's call them as data sets. Okay. Now here in Roseman store sales data, you definitely have a column called date. Okay. So convert the date, which is actually a string format, which is in string format. You are supposed to convert it into date time format and derive these new columns. You have to convert it into month, and the month in the digits like 0, 1, that format. You have to convert it into year, and then a day of the year, day of the year. I'm not talking about the day of the month. Day of the month varies from 1 to 31. But day of the year varies from 0 to 365 or 0 to 364, whatever it is, day of the year. And then month, full name, it has to be complete August, something like that. And then week of the year, I'm not talking about exact weekday or anything, week of the year, which is varying from 0 to 52. So how do you extract these? We haven't discussed this, but I request you to actually do some reading on the internet, do some searching, and try to quickly complete this lab exercise before we move on to the next subtopic. Let us see how to work with datetime functions. For this, we have to work with a datetime variable. So Nifty stock data has a datetime variable, Nifty stock price. If you look at the info of this particular data frame, you will have a variable which is a date time, because the stock price changes minute by minute. So it not only contains date, it contains a date time as well. If you want to have a quick look at the sample of this data, you can actually look at some of the records. So this is a variable, the exact date as well as the time is also given to us. And this is in a particular format. This Nifty is an Indian stock exchange. That is why we have time plus the GMT. Okay. So overall time is also given to us. So this is the format our data is in: open price, high, low, close, adjusted close, and the volume that traded in that at that particular, it is at a 15 minutes time frame. For every 15 minutes we are getting these values. Now let us work with date time values, and let us try to see how to work with actual date time and some of the functions that are related to it. Okay. So what we'll try to do is we will try to first extract only this part. We are not interested in this plus 530. That is not required. So we will try to take only the date time part of it. Okay. So how do you extract everything before plus? Actually, you can count the number of digits and you can write it from 0 to this particular, like 8 plus, these are like 8 plus 2 10 plus 1 11, and then another 6 plus 2 8 are there. So you can write down all those 19 digits from 0 to 19. But there is another way to do it. You can use split option as well. So let me show you how to use a split option in this example. So you write down Nifty stock price. So as of now, the variable name is date time. Let me create a new variable, date time 1. Nifty stock price, date time 1. Date time 1 equal to, then you write Nifty stock price, date time dot apply lambda, lambda, lambda x. Every row I want to go colon. Until here syntax is same. Then you write x dot split. Split by what? What's the symbol that you want to split on? Is it the colon? Is it the space? What do you want to split on? You want to split on the symbol plus. And after splitting, you will have two values. You will have index 0, which is the first value, and you will have plus 530. And out of those two, whatever you want, extract that. I want to extract the first portion, because after splitting, you will have two values. And out of those two, I want to extract the first portion. So if you see the answer to this, okay, so it will be looking somewhat like this. The output will look like this. We have extracted everything apart from that plus 530. Now we have to further clean it, because this is still a string only. So if you go to Nifty stock price, it will be still a string object. We have to convert this string into date time. Right now, this is date time is an object, date time 1 is also an object. Now try to recollect what is the function that will convert your string into date time. String into date. Which function converts string into date? Try to recollect it. So you write date time cleaned. I will write as usual. I have to write Nifty stock price. I will go to date time variable, Nifty stock price date time, right? Dot apply lambda lambda x. Now what is the function that will convert date time, the convert string into date time? The function name is strptime, isn't it? Strptime converts string into dates. So you write date time, that is a subpackage datetime.strptime, strptime. And which format are you giving me? I'm giving you in a very lengthy format. It is uppercase percentage y. This is lowercase percentage m, and then percentage d, small d, and there is a space. After that, I'm giving you hour, followed by minute, followed by second. So all that input format need to be given. So strptime in x is the input, and it is all that format. What is it? Percentage y, because it is y, and then percentage m, then percentage d, hyphens are also there, and then there's a space, then percentage uppercase h. Now these are the time function related ones. Percentage m, percentage s. Now it has to be given exactly in this format. Between the dates, there are hyphens. Between the time values, there are colons. We have to give in exactly the same format. Carefully, if you give that, then this will definitely work. You can actually have a look at the output. How does that look like? Let us see. Here you go. Datetime clean looks like this. Datetime cleaned looks like as it is as the datetime one. But what's the difference? The difference is it is now the data type is a date time. Earlier the data type used to be object. Now the data type is date time. That's the difference. Once you have date time, you can use it for multiple purposes. You can extract so many things out of it. You can extract year, you can extract month, you can extract date, you can extract particularly time also if you are interested only in a time out of that date time. So what you can do is you take this date time cleaned variable dot apply lambda x. From here, how do you extract only time from a date time variable? That is easy. Once everything is in date time, you simply write down x dot time. You simply extract time out of it. Then it will give you only the time portion of that date time. Because once a variable is in date time format, all that you need to do is you write the variable name dot time. Why it's not working? Let us see what is the syntax error that we have made. So this is the date time cleaned. Let me give that. So it's unmatched this one, which means that one extra parenthesis looks like we have given, and everything else is fine. Look at this. You have the time extracted. What if you want to extract only hour out of it, out of this full time? I'm not interested in the full time. What if I'm interested only in the hour? Which hour that is in? So you can write hour, and then instead of full time, I would like to say from the date time, which has date and time, I would like to extract x dot hour, x dot hour, and then extra parenthesis. Unmatched this one. Let us see, are we missing anything? There is an extra this one. Okay, this is the hour. Here time is a method, that's why parentheses are required. Hour is a property, that's why we have to give like this. What is a method, what is a property? Once we see object oriented programming rules, then we will get to know that. As of now, you understand that for some of the functions you have to give parentheses because they are methods. For some of the values you cannot give parentheses because they are properties. Just treat that as syntax. How do you get the minute? In the place of this, you write minute. Minute. You can extract a minute out of that if you want to, because earlier we have already seen how to extract months, dates from date time. Here we are from time, we are experimenting more on time here. You can extract the exact minute. This is 15-minute wise data. The values at 15th minute, 30th minute, 45th minute. Again, the values at the end of the hour. That's what you, in fact, if you are interested in second by second data, if you have second wise data, you can actually extract the second as well, particular second. This may not make sense in the stock price data, but that provision is also there if you want to use it. But here we are not going to the seconds granularity. We are stopping at uh, minutes granularity only. That's why second is showing as 0 for everything. It worked, but the data doesn't contain any values. So that is how you can extract it. In fact, there is another way also. You can use, like, if you have already date time, we have already discussed a function. What is it? If you have date time, from that, if you want to extract strings, if you want to extract some values from date, if you want to come to strings, you can use strftime. So if you want to do a little differently here, if you want to extract hour, instead of using this, you can use x dot strftime instead of that ready-made function hour. And you mention the format. What's the format? I want it in the format of percentage h. Then that hour will be printed to you. This is the hour. This is another alternative way of printing it. If you want to print the minute, then you can print percentage m. So let me do it here itself. Percentage m instead of hour, minute, minute. There you go. Percentage uppercase m, minute. Then you have percentage s for second. Second doesn't make sense here, but that is also possible here. Look at that. So you can use either strftime, or you can use direct ready-made functions and the properties directly as well. Now that is about working with time. Now what about time delta? What do you mean by time delta? The duration. Time delta is also a little complex. You cannot simply count the difference between two dates, because sometimes some months have 30 days, some months have 31 days, some months have, let's say if you have 4 months, you cannot simply say that, like, you have 31st of August and you have 31st of December. You cannot simply take 4 months, 4 into 30, 120. It may not be always 120 days. It can be different as well, isn't it? Because some months have different. February has only 28 days. So time delta, instead of we directly multiplying with 30 days, we have to use time delta functions that are available so that we can get accurate results. So let us work on some of the time delta functions. So as of now, we have this variable date cleaned. Okay, let us look at that and work with time delta functions. So this is the data. You have this data, and then let us work with time delta related to this. Let us suppose if you have, like, in my data set, what I want to know is what is the duration, what is the minimum date, what is the maximum date, and how much data has been collected, how many days data. This is stock price data, I agree. But what is the first date? Is it from 1st Jan 2019 to 1st Jan 2020? Is it 360 days data? Is it 30 days data? Is it 40 days data? Is it 80 days data? How do I know that? So let me take the min date or the start date. Minimum date is this one dot min. That is the minimum date. And what is that minimum date? That also we can see the min date. Similarly, I'll calculate the max date. So minimum date is 2021 028 August, or 02 is February 8th, and the max date, this is the max, and from February 8th to the May 7th, that's the data that we have collected from February 8th to May 7th. How many days are there? If you want to know that time delta, it's not as easy as February to May. You simply do it. There is a particular function that we have to use for calculating the time deltas. Let us understand how does this time delta work. So the duration in days, if you want to get the duration in days particularly, then you write the duration or whatever is the name of the variable. So you simply write down your highest value of the age max date minus min underscore date. Max date minus min date is the duration. Okay. So here is the duration, 88 days. It is also giving the hours. Okay. So time delta, it is actually a different type of variable altogether. It is giving its time delta of 88 days. Okay. If you want to know exact duration in hours, like 88 days, 6 hours it is. Okay. If you want to know the duration in hours, then if you want to convert all these 88 days, 88 into 24 plus 6 hours, if you want to know exact hours as well, then what you can do is using this time delta, you can convert it. So you have to import a new package from date time import. There is another sub package called time delta. Time delta. Here you go. Time delta. Time zone is also there. Time delta. So what you need to do is you simply take duration and the symbol is slash duration divided by time delta. Time delta is a function, and whatever is the delta that you want to measure this in days, or you want to measure this in hours or minutes, whatever you want to do it, you can mention. So my one unit is 1 hour. Okay. So the number of units has to be hours. So hours equal to 1. So basically here I want to say I want to measure not in days, I want to measure it in hours. Then it will print you in hours. So those 88 days, 6 hours is converted to this. What if 1 unit is not 1 hour, it is actually 1 minute? Then you say MINUT, minute equal to 1. That is 1 unit equal to 1 minute. Okay. You have to write minutes. That's the syntax. Hours, minutes. These are the minutes. So time delta, you can convert it to hours. Like if required, you can do it. But most of the times I have seen people using it directly. This is the one which is your duration in hours or minutes or the days. Days is anyway directly given. You can convert it to hours or minutes using this option. So that is how you can work with time delta. So that's how you can work with dates and the date functions and the time functions. It's now time for us to do a quick lab exercise on date time functions we are exploring. Take the dataset New York taxi fare data, look at the column names, you'll be able to easily understand that. It is a simple taxi fare data where pickup time is given, drop time is given, pickup location is given, drop location is given. This is a simple taxi fare data. What is the fare of that particular ride? Now create a date time variable based on the pickup time. Pickup time is actually a string. How do you convert a string into date time? String to date time. What is the option? What function is used? Okay. Then extract hour, minute, and second values. So hours and minutes, when you're doing analysis of this, when you're creating a dashboard on the taxi fares and what time they are picked, maybe these hours and minutes are also important. And identify which hour is the peak hour with the maximum number of trips. After you identify the hour, you may have to do value counts. After doing the value counts, then you'll get to know which hour is the peak hour. Maybe during that peak hour, we make sure that most of the taxis are available. Maybe we can increase the fare in that peak hour. Exactly how many months data is available in the data set. So exactly how many months data is available. So you try to find out what is the minimum and what is the maximum, and then convert that duration comes in days. Now that days earlier we have converted into hours, minutes, but here I want to convert that duration into months. Now that's not directly possible using the function that we have used. You may have to use a different function, but tell me how many months data is available. Let's say 90 days is actually like 3 months. You can say like that in simple words. So how many months data is available? Give me the interval in months. That's the requirement. So complete this exercise before we move on to the next topic. I'll see you on the other side.